Finally then, I want to leave you with this very important picture. This is a picture of two very important elements that I like to share every time I'm training. And it's a picture of an eagle. I don't know if I highlighted the eagle when I was at the Mbawale Alliance Church, but I want to point out this because this is a very important picture. The eagle is said to fly to the height of 10,000 feet above sea level. And they say that when the eagle gets to that height, if it meets any other bird at that kind of a height, that bird must be another eagle. What does that entail? The eagle will always fly with other eagles. Now, below the eagle, there are other birds like crows. The crow is the bird that looks like an eagle. It also has a white patch. But you know, the crow is a very lazy bird. It will look for things that have been killed and left hanging on the down there, and then it goes to pick that prey, which has been killed by another maybe bird or another animal. That's the characteristic of a crow. But the eagle always wants to look for fresh meat. So if you're an eagle, you're always looking for fresh ideas, business concepts that will take you to another height in life. That is the eagle. So you need to stop flying with crows, because crows will always make you feel lazy. They'll make you comfortable with the food that was killed 3 days ago, which is actually rotting. Other than that, please move with the eagle. I'm talking about the eagle businessmen and women that will be able to help you to navigate through life and overcoming all the torrents and tornadoes of this life. Don't also fly with pigeons. Pigeons are also equally lazy. They'll just fly around and be picking things on the ground. And so if you maintain your relationship with eagles, you will grow to high heights. But if you maintain relationships with pigeons or crows, you will remain at a very low altitude. So that is the life of an eagle. They also say that an eagle will usually fly towards a torrent or a storm. Why? Because it uses the storm to mount up on wings. What the Bible says is that those that wait upon the Lord will mount up on wings like an eagle. So it navigates towards the storm and uses the storm to go higher and higher, and it flies above the storms of setback. So I'm calling all of you that are listening to the sound of my voice, be that eagle that will make it in the marketplace. There will be storms, but don't give up. The second one is this aircraft. Boeing 747 is said to use about 4 liters of fuel every second when it's flying, estimated at 12 liters per kilometer, and it can consume up to 150 liters of jet fuel for a journey of 10 hours. This is very serious. Those of you who have flown before, you understand this as I explain it further. Now, when this aircraft that you see here is on the ground, it can weigh about 300,000 metric tons. This machine that you are seeing here, 300,000 kilograms, that is 300 metric tons, when it is not moving. Then it will take about 300 to 400 people inside its belly. Each of those people will take about 46 kilograms of luggage, that is 23 times 2. And then they ask you to take even a hand luggage, which can weigh up to 7 kg. That is the weight of this machine before it takes off. Then they will put about 200 liters of jet fuel on this machine. So when it is resting on the ground, it weighs, the ground weight would be about 600,000 kilograms. And they expect it to rise into the air, and it will just become like a paper or a leaf when it rises up. That is the power of aeronautics. Now, the aeronautics engineer said that before this machine takes off, if you are standing in front of its engine, it can suck you and grind you into minced meat within minutes. That's how powerful this engine that you see, the Rolls-Royce engine that you see here is. If you are standing behind, it can also throw you 100 meters to your grave. So when it's about to take off, you'll notice at the airport, those of you that have been to our Tambo, you'll notice that there'll be about 50 meters away, the other aircrafts, because they can actually be thrown by its fellow friend here or colleague. So as it is about to take off, the captain will say, fasten your seat belts because we are about to take off. Now I know I've been flying a lot and I've seen there are people that are always naughty on the aircraft. When the captain says, please fasten, they want to pretend like they are experienced flyers so they can unfasten even when the plane is taking off. But you see, there is a purpose why we are told to fasten, because sometimes even at takeoff, this thing can be very turbulent and it can be very unstable. So as the machine is taking off, okay, it will run towards what they call the takeoff speed. And as it begins to rise up, they say that from the time it takes off from the ground to the time where it reaches what they call the cruising altitude of about 37,000 feet above sea level, it would have consumed 1/4 tank of the total fuel capacity. So if it is 200, it would have taken about 50,000 liters just at takeoff for it to reach the cruising altitude. Then it will fly from, OR Tambo all the way to Heathrow Airport in the UK on the rest of the fuel. I'm sure you know that it would have consumed more fuel at takeoff than the rest of the journey. What does that say to you, ladies and gentlemen? When you are taking off in your business, you will face a lot of challenges, and so you may need to use a lot more resources, a lot more energy, a lot of sacrifice will be required on your part because you are just taking off in business. Like Chavani shared, it can be very traumatizing, it can be challenging, very frustrating, and you almost give up. Look at those nice green papers, but then they don't give you the necessary monies that you'd want to receive. Look at the maize that Wandile would have gotten. Maybe may not have gotten the same amount that you looked forward to. Maybe you have the COVID situation and they're not buying all your products. I think this was the case of Wandile. They are not buying your products because maybe there is no one to buy anymore. Those are challenges that you face as you are taking off. But your sacrifice will be worth it eventually. So as this plane begins to fly, it gets to that stable altitude, and the captain will switch off the seatbelt signs and everybody now starts moving to the toilet, even if they don't need to. But you see all these activities start happening in the aircraft. But sometimes suddenly you may find that you hit into a storm, which you never expected. I usually give an example of my trip, which was the most scary. I think 2 trips on my work life in World Vision, the one in Mozambique and the other one in Entebbe. So as we were flying into Entebbe, almost reaching, maybe we were just about 15 minutes away, we faced this very massive storm. And the captain says, we are almost confronting a very huge storm. I don't know how best to navigate. I'll try my best, but if we fail, we'll fly back into Nairobi. Now, I'm supposed to be training, and I've got maybe 50 people waiting for me already. This is Sunday. I'm the lead trainer in the training of capacity building and channels of hope. And then the captain is saying we have to go back. That was not good news to me. So anyway, Christian, of course, in that situation, you'd want to engage in prayer. But I've learned something. If the captain says we will have to go back, I'll just obey, because that is safer for my life than to hit the storm that can take us to heaven much earlier than we are expected to go there. So the captain changed the engine sound. I could literally, because I like sitting by the engine, I heard the sound changing, and the plane went at a certain angle that I had never seen before. And suddenly we hit that cloud, very thick, and it was like, the plane was literally shaking. And I always say this story because this for me is interesting, where the lady held my hand, almost removing my skin. And it was tough. I said, my sister, please, you take away my hand. She says, please just bear with me. I'm so scared. I said, okay, but don't worry. This thing will make it. We'll make it. Not that I wasn't scared myself. Sometimes we want to pretend as if you are a hero. I was scared. It was a very, very difficult time. But knowing what the engineers put into this machine, somehow I had confidence we will navigate. So suddenly we went through that storm. Within a few countable minutes, we were out of that very ravaging storm. And what I saw was amazing. This was me who took this picture, because you can see how dark the cloud looked. And I picked this picture, and this thought came to my mind. No matter how dark the clouds might seem to be, the sun is always shining above the clouds. Ladies and gentlemen, as you go out of this training, go with the passion and the commitment that the storm may be there, but you will still make it. When people begin to speak against you and those toxins begin to fill your lungs, just say, whatever toxins is coming my way, I will make it. This is a temporary setback. I will not give up on my dream.